One of the more common questions that I get is, what is the difference between management and leadership? Now, while that's a really good question, the very fact that the majority of people in management positions don't know what the difference is, that leaves one of those roles vacant. And it's unfortunately usually the leadership role. In other words, more people know how to manage effectively than know how to lead effectively. Now, the simplest way to look at the difference is that management typically deals with facts, with figures, with KPIs, and those things that we can consider to be tangible. It is best said that management is predominantly data driven. Leadership happens on a more emotional level, and it deals with feelings such as pride, a sense of belonging, feeling inspired. Leadership is more about psychology. It's more about human behavior, and it's more about relationships. And let me just add that both, while uniquely different, are extremely important, and both are critical to your success. Now, it has been my experience over the past years that leadership is the foundation upon which effective management is built. So, leadership comes first. Management without leadership breeds contempt and it leads to disconnect. Hello, my name is John Ace Underwood, and for the past 40 years, working as a leadership and management consultant, I have helped owners, C-suite executives, and managers in the factory-built housing industry, in manufacturing and retail sales, and in communities build organizations that reach performance levels that they never thought possible. And hopefully, these videos will be of great benefit to you as well. You see, leadership is what ties organizations together. Effective leadership forms a cohesive team, and it inspires people to give you more than even they thought possible. Now, you can still manage people and you can still survive, but if you want a team that thrives and outperforms the rest, you've got to be willing to lead. One of my favorite quotes, and there's some discrepancy as to who said it first, but it goes like this: as it pertains to the Super Bowl, you can't manage a team to victory. You can only lead them to victory. Now, there are five basic functions of leadership, and everything else is management. And once you understand and embrace and implement these five functions, you're free to focus on being a more effective manager. So, the first function of leadership is about formulating, documenting, and articulating a vision. The vision is a clear statement about what you want your organization to look and feel like, not only to you, but to your team members and to your customers. Now, if you're the owner or the CEO of an organization, it's an absolute requirement that as the leader of the organization, you clearly articulate what you want your organization to look and feel like. You're the one that needs to determine the course that your organization is going to take and then clearly articulate that direction to those that are in management positions within your organization. Now, if you're a department manager, such as a general manager of a retail location, a retail sales manager, a community manager, service manager, construction manager, office manager, or any other management position, you have to do the same for your department. You see, every manager has to own their own piece of the overall vision. What are you willing to do? What are you going to do? What standards will you set that will move the needle to the right, or what's going to sabotage your efforts? Now, I understand that some organizations, they make an attempt to articulate their vision, and it usually comes in the form of a mission statement that may have been printed and may get framed and possibly hung in the lobby for everyone to see. So over the years, I've read statements that included like pursuing excellence, or we're committed to both our internal and external stakeholders. And some want to create a positive customer experience. And while others, they don't just want satisfied customers, but rather they want to create an army of enthusiastic and raging fans. Now, listen, guys, I'm not knocking these objectives, but unless these are clearly understood by all of your team members, and followed by a series of actionable, measurable set of activities and tasks in each and every department, they're just flowery words. Let's take a look at just one or two examples. Let's dive a little deeper into your internal stakeholders, those being your employees. We often talk about customer experience, but what about the employee experience? What do you want life to be like for those people that probably spend 50% of their waking hours with you, helping you meet your goals? Do you want them to feel happy to come to work, to look forward to coming to work and making a difference? Do you want them to feel like they do important work? And do you want them to feel that while they're under your leadership, they're going to accomplish so much more than they ever could on their own? You see, these are the kind of things that leaders not only think about, but they commit to. Then they measure and they always look for feedback from their teams. Let's take a look at a more broader example. What about the creating an army of enthusiastic, raging fans, those that are gladly and enthusiastically referring you to their family and their friends, not because you reward them to do so, but because they truly believe in you and what you do? Again, this is an admirable goal. It really is. And it's achievable so long as it is examined and considered carefully. Otherwise, just more words. One thing we know for certain is that the sales department can't deliver this on their own. You have to look at each touch point, meaning each time that a customer actually comes in contact with your company in any way, shape, or form, and decide what results you want from that event. For example, who and how do we answer the phone? That needs to be discussed. Do you know that even in some of the biggest organizations in the factory built housing industry, and I'm talking about ones that depend entirely on inbound phone calls from internet generated leads, that gets answered in person less than 40% of the time. The rest of the time it goes to voicemail. Can you see how that might be an issue? Can you see how that's not exactly moving the raging fan needle to the right, but it is sabotaging the vision? Another example is how quickly do we respond to leads? Do you know that 91% of all internet leads generated get at the most one follow-up attempt, and that's usually comes in the form of an autoresponder? Yet there is a plethora of studies that show that you have to attempt to connect with an interested party personally at least 7 times if you want to reach the maximum number of decision makers. So these are just a very few examples of how the vision, once set, needs to be supported by actionable and measurable activities and tasks. As you can all well imagine, formulating, then documenting, and then finally sharing that vision with your organization and your team takes time. It takes commitment. It takes having conversations. It takes reviewing, and it takes cohesion. But throughout my professional years, I have seen that when management gets serious about leading, as opposed to simply managing, these organizations catch on fire. They outperform their competitors 3 to 1. These organizations don't just survive markets, they create them. These organizations begin to take advantage of opportunities that their competitors didn't even know exist. Their team members, they work together. They love what they do, and they know that their contribution matters, and it matters a lot. And all of this starts with the first function of leadership, the formulating, the documenting, and the articulating of the vision for the company and all of its departments. Now, please understand that formatting the vision is the first function of leadership, and it is truly what everything else is built on. So take the time, formulate it, clearly document it, and then share it with your team. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes some introspection. And yes, you're going to have conversations that you've probably never had before, but it's so, so, so worth it. In the next video, I'm going to be discussing the second function of leadership, which is all about inspiring the people that work for you. No one questions the need to inspire others, especially those under your leadership. And most managers would really love to be more inspirational, but they just don't know how. Inspiring your team is directly related to the vision. It's like what comes next. And in the next video, I will give you some tried and true ways by which you can become a truly inspirational leader quickly and easily. By the way, if you think these videos can help you become a better leader and a manager, please click on the link below and give me your email, and I'm going to notify you and provide you with a link as soon as I release the next video. The journey of becoming a more effective leader and a more efficient manager is a requirement. It's not optional. It can, however, be a highly rewarding journey, and it isn't one that you have to travel alone. You can do this, and I can help. And more importantly, I really want to help. Click on the link below, and I'll see you next video.